Assembly was dispensing of the Finance Bill 2023, and we saw some of the robust engagements took over the deliberations on the floor of the House, even as the majority eventually had their way and the minority definitely had their say. So we'll take a look at the consequences around the Finance Bill 2023 as it awaits President William Ruto to assent it. Equally, we'll evaluate some of the developments that played out as members of the Fourth Estate found themselves on the receiving end in one way or the other. Some of the top government officials, including the Deputy President, saying that this is the new order. Get used to it. So what exactly does it mean for a free press, for members of the Fourth Estate as they endeavor to hold the government to account? This and other more deliberations set to be held right here on the round table. I'm joined by three gentlemen. Allow me to introduce them for your benefit back at home. First of all, I'm joined by Leonard Kafafa, who's a public policy analyst. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Karibu sana.
Pleasure is all mine.
Yes, were you watching the WRC in any chance?
Incidentally not.
Yeah.
Although I'm big on motorsports.
Okay.
But this year, for some reason, I gave it a pass.
But I'm pretty sure you're following the developments on the floor of the House.
Definitely.
And we'll get to discuss about them. Asante sana for your time. Equally joined by Wakili Ishmael Nyaribo, who's an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. Karibu sana. It's a pleasure to have you with us. I don't think I've seen you this whole year, yeah?
Asante sana. Thank you for having me today.
Welcome. And equally joined by the Duke of Mosocho, Dismas Mokua, who's a political risk analyst. Karibu sana to the round table. Hope you've had a great weekend. Huh?
I can't complain.
Yes. Okay, gentlemen, so let's get right into it. As I mentioned, a lot was happening on the floor of the House, and I'd like us to begin on that particular point because we saw a couple of amendments, 10 amendments in total to the finance bill were received, 8 from Azimio, 2 from the government side. And I'd like to start with your analysis, gentlemen, quite briefly on the taxation measures that were ratified by the National Assembly. Some of them should be coming into effect actually this week, Saturday, the 1st of July. So your analysis on the taxation measures first, but equally your reaction to the quality of debate that was seen on the floor of the House. Leonard, I'd begin with you. What's your reaction?
These measures were by and large expected. The economy is in parlor straits, and to dig us out of the hole, the government has had to resort to these taxation measures. So they were expected. As early as a couple of years ago, it had been predicted that whoever won the presidential elections in 2023 would have to raise taxes, through increases in VAT and in excise duties. So that was expected, and it has come to pass. So nothing unusual, nothing untoward. This is what should be. Tough times, tough decisions. Yeah.
Interesting. And what's your take on the quality of debate that was seen on the floor of the House?
The government had its way, rather, as a result of having a majority over the opposition. But I think even those members of the opposition who voted with government voted on the strength of the task that is at hand, rebuilding the nation. We are at ground zero, and we have to rebuild from someplace. So those who voted with the government, I think, exercised their patriotic duty and voted accordingly. So yeah, the debate was robust. There's been a lot of discussion around this finance bill. I think more than other years, far more than any other year. And views have been collected left, right, and center. I think the debate has been robust all around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well noted. Wakili, as you come in, it's proper to note that the minority was whitewashed in one way or the other during those 2 days of debate on the floor of the House. But we did see petitions and oral submissions that were disregarded, especially on some of those contentious clauses around the Finance Bill 2023. And there are those who feel that Parliament, in one way or the other, did not listen to the Kenyans' plea around those contentious issues. So from your analysis in terms of the debate on the floor of the House, were they, holding the views of Kenyans at the end of the day, or this was a must pass? This was ground zero, as he's mentioned.
Thank you. You say it whitewashed, and my friend has said, Mr. Kafafa says that it was such a nice debate. I mean, first and foremost, what debate? I mean, we all knew the bill would pass anyway, so the talks in Parliament, which were really one-sided, which were Kenya Kwanza-sided, was really an internal debate. It was Kenya Kwanza and discussing what the government wants to do and debating whether it's correct in terms of are there any amendments we need to do. They brought in two, acted like they really had listened to the people and made those amendments. But if you had to, and this is a very important question, was there a quality debate? Quality debate means all the stages of budget making have been fulfilled, and then the public has been given opportunity to air their views, and those views are then taken care of during debate. The discussion should extend towards saying, what did we hear from the people? Not exactly what the kind of tax that is being proposed will do for the country, because that is more or less obvious. So if you ask me in terms of debate, really, if we are this chance, now it is becoming low, so we may not have that chance. A proper debate should have been held, and the people's views should have been properly consulted and, implemented in the floor of the House. To be honest, and it's important we, as professionals, stand firm and say, no, that did not happen. But if you ask me whether the tax levies, by governments in East Africa, in Kenya, and in the world should always be implemented, or rather, should we tax people, should we not tax people? The truth of the matter is, if you want to be independent as a nation, you must contribute to the tax, kitty of any country. There is no question that a government should collect enough tax from people so that it can implement its policies. Yeah. There's a catch, however, and this is really where the argument is. You see, initially the argument was, should it be 5%, 3%, or now 1.5%? That is okay to argue. But to say that you are a shoemaker or you repair shoes, therefore you should not pay tax, and the big corporations should pay tax, that is really misplaced. Every single Kenyan should contribute towards the tax kitty so that we can have good roads, we can have services, we can have independence. As a country, we should be able to feed our own people. Yeah. That is not an issue. It is, in fact, every other professional believes that is the way to go. All right. Now, the catch is this tax? Historically, I don't care about what Kenya Kwanza will do, because we will come to that after 5 years. Historically, have governments been keen on utilizing the tax collected for services and infrastructure and benefiting the masses, the public, or they have been utilizing it through corrupt cartels and corrupt means? And that is, I think, what is really hurting people, that immediately Kenya Kwanza took office, the way they started, the way they said, what is your value, when the interview were coming in, and they said their value, and we saw that, okay, fine, this is their value. I think the cheapest one was 400 million. So, and then the way now immediately they started, were they assisting the hustlers, or they were actually assisting themselves? And I think that is now when people started to imagine that maybe this tax is really not going to be used for us. So we agree tax must be collected, okay. No doubt about it. Okay. Debate should be comprehensive. Everyone should be included. But this tax you collect, where are you going to use it? And I think this is an issue that still Kenyans are asking themselves. Will it really come back to us? Will we see better roads, clean cities? Will we see services? Will fuel go down? Will food be affordable? Will school fees be affordable? Those are the issues that people are really, even today, actually asking themselves. And we wanted them to come in the floor of the House, and they did not come out in the floor of the House in Parliament, yes.
Interesting. Dismas, your take in terms of perhaps what is